So that button is running. Well, welcome everybody. I love the kids. I got some kid faces on me, some big smiles too. Awesome. Great to see you guys. I was just going to open up with kind of our schedule, important dates. So today we have the town hall. Teachers should be communicating with families and letting them know kind of what the schedule looks like for the rest of the week. So tomorrow, all teachers are planning on having classroom town halls or orientation meetings virtually. We have a slideshow presentation that's got a lot of information in it. We will end up sharing that with families later on. I'll either post it to our website or I'll send it via Parent Square so that you guys can refer back to it if you have additional questions. In terms of a specific schedule during the day, I have a talking point today that I'll speak kind of in generalities as to our schedule for the building, and then you'll get your individual classroom schedule from your teacher. So for example, kindergartners are not doing reading and writing at the same time that second graders are. So you'll get that individual schedule from your classroom teacher. So tomorrow, Tuesday, is scheduled for orientation meetings and virtual meetings from your teacher. Wednesday will be our first day where we're going to have students in the building. Wednesday is a B cohort. So make sure that you, if you need confirmation, you can call our office, but make sure you know what your cohort is listed as. And then Thursday, cohort A will get an opportunity to come to school. Friday will be a distance learning day, so you will get communication from your teacher. We won't have any students in that day. That's going to give us at school a chance to maybe make some corrections or make some adjustments, debrief kind of how the first couple of days went, learn from maybe a few of our mistakes, and be ready to hit the ground running when we start the following week. So that's kind of what important days look like for this week. In terms of a schedule, let's talk a little bit about class schedule. So when your child comes to school on a normal day, so Tuesday through Friday, they're coming on one of their cohort days. In the mornings, we're going to start off at 8:10. So doors open at 7:45. We would love to have if you're going to drop your child off, we'd love to have your child here by 8 o'clock. When they come to the school, okay, we have morning mobile drop-off available, which is on the east side of the building, which is Church Street. Encourage parents to drive through there and allow their kiddo to get out. Kindergartners are going to go north along the sidewalk. They'll have staff escorts down there, and they're going to enter through the north doors, which are down by kind of the oak groves, kind of the playground side of the building. And then first and second graders can come in the main doors. It's important for us to do that just to minimize the number of students that are coming in a certain entrance. Keep those numbers a little bit lower. Just helps improve our safety when the kids are coming in the building. Students are encouraged to ride the bus. Bus will load and unload in the same location, which is off of Robinson Street at the south end of the building. And then if you want to walk your child into the building, you are welcome to do that. We ask families to park in the gravel parking lot, which is located down by Mill Street, and then use the sidewalk to walk their child. If they're a first or second grader, they can come in by where the bus loading zone is, which is the south end. If they are a kindergartner, the gates will be open so families can cut across our playground and their child can be received down in the at the north entrance, so the north end of the building. When they get to school, 8:10 is when we're going to start. We're going to start with a social emotional learning lesson, which is basically your teachers might be referring to that as class meetings. And then from class meetings, they'll go into English language arts time. Some classes will have some specials in the morning. PE and library will be our specials. And then there are some mid-morning recess times for a couple of the classes. There's some writing that'll happen right before lunch, and then approximately 11 o'clock, kinder will go first, but approximately 11 o'clock, we'll start lunch, and that is staggered times just so we can have supervision, appropriate supervision. And then in the afternoon, we have math time, and you'll have specials in the afternoon as well. School will end at 2:30. Buses and buses and walkers are going to be ready to go and out the door by 2:30 to get on the bus and kind of start walking. And then parents, we ask parents to, they're welcome to start picking up. We would encourage parents to, again, park in the gravel parking lot. And if you are a first or second grade parent picking up your child, you can go to the gym entrance, which is located on the west side. So meet right there. Unfortunately, our plan is set so that we can't allow any parents inside of the building. So we have no volunteers, no parents, no visitors inside the building. So we will check you in, and then your first or second grader will be staged in the gym. We feel like we have enough space to socially distance all students there. And the kindergartners are going to be picked up at the north entrance. And so you'll check in with a staff member there, and then we will radio to the classroom, and your child will come out of the classroom and come right to you, and then you are free to go home. And so again, our end of the day is our normal end of the day time, which is 2:30. How about let's break up a couple of sections in the day. Let's talk just a little bit about recess time. We have cohorted, so all students that are in the building are cohorted by grade level. So kindergartners make up one cohort, and there are approximately 30 kindergartners in a cohort based on the number of students we have. We have four classrooms of students, and in a given day there are going to be 30 kindergartners. First graders are going to have about 50 students in a cohort. We have about 100 total first graders come into hybrid. And then second graders are about the same number, about 50 students. We actually have 3 classrooms of second graders. And so they're in their own cohort. So when we're at recess time, you'll be with your grade level classes. They can play with other students that are in different classes because they're all part of the same cohort, okay? We will assign playground equipment to a given cohort. So for example, the kindergartners will have their own equipment that the first and second graders will not use. And same for the first and second graders, they have their own equipment. The playground, the permanent playground structures can be used by all students. And then in between recesses, we will clean and sanitize the playground equipment between uses. Have one question in the chat for walkers. Will we meet them at the same place? And so the answer is yes. Our walking location, if you are down the hill or on the Mill Street side of our school and you are going to walk, we will have a staff member that'll walk the students down to the corner, help them get across the crosswalk, and you can meet them right there. So same routine for walkers. And we do have a couple of walkers that have gone basically not south, but excuse me, east, the Church Street side of our property. We have had some walkers head that direction. So if your child is a walker that direction, we'll put a plan in place and have a staff member escort your child to wherever you can meet them for walking. So yeah, thank you for the question. Let's talk a little bit about lunch. So all meals will be in the classroom, okay? Families can still send a lunch with their child just like normal. We are gonna have, in terms of lunches in the classroom, meals will be brought to the classroom and the students will eat in there. When they do eat in the classroom, they're allowed to remove their mask. So both for lunch as well as snack time, the recommendation from the nurses and our medical experts is that we ask them to remove their mask completely when they're eating. What they've found is that when they try to maybe lift up their mask and take a bite and then put their mask back on, is while they're chewing, kind of soils the mask and just makes it dirty and actually contributes to more germs or having to change the mask out. And so it's not recommended to do that. So students are going to be allowed to take their mask off while they're eating. Speaking of masks coming off, in the classroom, as well as outside for recess time, first of all, masks are required at all times at the school. If a student needs to take a mask off, for example, if they're in PE class, they need to take a mask break, or they're in the classroom and they're just uncomfortable and they need a mask break, there is going to be a dedicated space where the student can go and take their mask off and breathe normally. You can stay there for a couple minutes, whatever the student needs at that time, and then return to class. So that's going to kind of be the plan. And we just ask students to communicate with their teacher. The teachers will give some instructions on how to request a mask break and what that looks like, but we will make sure that if a student would like to take a mask break, that they are welcome to do so. Let's see, we talked about recess, talked a little bit about lunch and meal times. Let's see, that's pretty good on important dates and schedule. Does anybody have any questions on things that I've covered at this point? Any students maybe that have any questions they'd like to ask? No, I see some shaking heads. Scarlett, you don't have a question for me?
Are we gonna take off our masks during recess or keep them on?
Oh, that's a good question. Yeah. So the requirements that we have at school and coming back to school is that all students and staff need to wear masks at all times. So that includes recess time in the classroom, at PE, if you go for a bathroom break or you're walking down the hall, riding the bus, all times you have to wear your mask. But if you feel like you need a mask break, maybe because it's hard to breathe while you're running, or if you're playing outside and you feel like it's hard for you to breathe, you just ask the teacher, or we'll have some sort of sign where you can kind of go off to the side and pull your mask down and take regular breaths. Okay, does that help? Awesome, great question, Scarlett, thank you. And then I've got a question in here. Can you repeat where we will have pickups in the afternoon? So in the afternoon, kindergartners, first of all, we're going to maintain our same routines in terms of walkers and bussers. They will be escorted to the walking location or the busing location. So for parents who are picking up their students after school, ask you to park in the gravel parking lot. If you have a kindergartners are going to be picked up at the north entrance, and the north entrance is the one that's close to the big oak grove, kind of on that far side of the building at the very end of church, where church turns to gravel, and the playground is located on that side of the building. And then if you're a first or second grade parent, you're going to pick your child up off the side of the gym entrance doors. So that would be the west side of our building. So if you park in the gravel parking lot and then walk up to those side of the doors, your student will be waiting there at the end of the day. And then, do you know when we will get the bus schedule for pickup times and drop off times? Oh man, if I had a quarter for every time I asked for the bus schedule, I would have a lot of quarters, let's say. So it's been a little bit of a task. I think Durham is working very hard on the bus schedules. We have asked for an update today. We have not received bus schedules yet. And so our goal is to have that information when you have your teacher orientation or your virtual meeting with your teacher. We will post that. We will post that on the website. The district will post that on the transportation page for the website as soon as it's ready. We will also post that on the window at the school. And then we will probably send it additional time through Parent Square. So you should get that one of three ways. If you have any questions, or if you haven't received it yet, please make sure that you reach out and call the office, and we'll try to get you the information that you need. Yeah, great questions. Thank you. How about any other questions on schedule? I had asked for questions on schedule or important dates. Any students have questions? Yeah, Jake, go ahead.
Hey, real quick. Sorry, I stepped out for a second. What time is Mark Twain? What time are you guys actually done?
Yeah, end of school day is 2:30 for us.
2:30. Okay.
2:30. Yep. Any other questions?
I have a question, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead, Carly.
For pickup and drop off, if we have a kinder and a first or second grader, is there a preference on whether we should pick up the kinder on the north side and then like run to the gym, or vice versa? Or
Yeah, great question. No, I'm glad that you asked that. So no preference at all. Just communicate with one of your child's teachers, whether they're a busser or a walker or you're picking them up, one location. Yeah, siblings can be together, one location. We'll take care of you guys for sure on that. Yeah, great question.
Thank you.
You bet.
Hey, Greg, can you clarify? I heard you say that the building opens at 7 something, but then like drop-offs can start at 8, or can they get dropped off? Like when can kids actually get dropped off in the morning?
Doors are going to be open. We'll start receiving students at 7:45. So students can come in and they're going to go right to their classroom starting as early as 7:45. And then we just ask that parents try to have their child here by 8 o'clock, because 8:10 is when we like to start our morning meetings and get the day off and running.
Perfect. Thank you.
You bet. You bet. Good questions. Any other questions, folks? Lainey, Miss Lainey White, do you have a question for me?
She's at daycare.
Oh, not. I was gonna ask Penny too, but I was gonna make Lainey go first.
Penny would be more likely to answer.
Awesome.
Hey, I do have a question actually about, so if they were going to eat breakfast at the school, they just still get dropped off and they'll do that in the classroom?
Yeah. So that's another good question too. One of the things that the teachers are going to be asking, because obviously we have cohorts, we're going every other day, is any way for you guys on the parent side of things, if your child needs a breakfast, we're going to try to get in a routine where we have the meals ready for them in the classroom. We don't want to have that be delayed. So if you know your child wants to eat school breakfast, please communicate with your teacher and just kind of like, hey, just letting you know, like my child's going to have breakfast at school. That way we can have a good count and we can have those meals. We can have those meals in the classroom. Same thing kind of on lunch. Anyway, you have a routine or a schedule where you can let them know. One thing I did want to add is that the district, actually this is a federal thing for this year, but all meals for all families are free of charge. There are options for children to have a dinner as well. So your teachers will be communicating with you that if you would like to take advantage of taking home a dinner, that you can do that. And at the end of the day, we'll have a dinner for the student and we'll put it in their backpack when they go home. So that's an additional service that we haven't had in the past. Looks like I have a hand up there. Go ahead, sweetie. Do you have a question? Not anymore. Okay. All right. Other questions? Jaden, did you have a question? I saw that you unmuted.
Nope, we're good.
Okay, sounds good.
Hello, bye-bye.
All right. Let's go ahead and keep going.
Okay.
Let's see. Go down my list here. A couple of little things. These are just little things, but just giving you kind of a heads up. And if I can provide kind of explanation a little bit. Definitely you're going to hear from your teachers to encourage you to send a water bottle with your child. One thing that's different now is that drinking fountains or any common spaces are off limits. And so we do have a water refilling station for water bottles, but we would encourage families to send a water bottle with their child if they have a favorite. We are going to give every child a Mark Twain Kits water bottle. And it'll obviously have their name on it. One of the things that the teachers are going to do in the classroom is that they are going to have a place where students can set their water bottle. We're not going to have the students set their water bottle next to their workstation, but it'll be like on the counter, readily accessible. They can get water whenever they want to, but we're going to keep them on the countertop there. So just want to keep them away from the work. And, if they do have electronics out or something like that, we're just, want to try to make sure that we keep it clean. And especially if they go get a drink of water, we want to make sure that we request that students like sanitize their hands or use some hand sanitizer or wash their hands before they go. So that's just a little step that you may hear from your child, but encourage you to send a water bottle. If they don't, we're going to provide one. The school will provide one. Okay, got a couple questions in the chat. is there a meal calendar you can look at? I have not received one yet, but I know once we get up and running that they will have a regular meal calendar. And so we will make sure that that is available on the website, and you can look at that. Classroom teachers will probably go ahead and forward that home via Parent Square as we get up and running. And then our iPads coming back and forth. Yeah, that's another really good question. We are going to ask students to keep their iPads with them at all times. So when they come to school, they're going to have their iPads. If they need to use it for an assignment, they will. And then when they go home, they'll have their iPad as well. So we are going to try to shift a little bit, maybe to a little bit more paper pencil, just so students get the opportunity to write maybe more than they have. But teachers are going to have students, on their iPads. There are lots of apps and things like that that the teachers want to make sure that the students still have access to, even though we're maybe going to try to transition away from that just a little bit to bring a little bit of balance to their education.
Is there going to be the ability for the kids to charge in the classroom if you have a little one that constantly forgets to plug his back in?
Yeah, in fact, we talked a little bit about this today. We will have extra chargers available, so don't feel like you have to go back and forth with your charger. And then the other thing is that I think the teachers are going to establish a routine where when the students come in, they may not be using their iPad for the first 2 hours of the day, let's say, and they'll be right on the charger. So we're hoping to make sure that we've got a routine where students can charge their iPads and we've got some juice in those things when we need to use them. Yeah. Let's see. Again, the slideshow is going to be shown to all families. So please make sure you reach out to your teacher if you haven't seen the message about when your orientation is. There's actually going to be 2 orientation slots available, one kind of in the afternoon and then one in the evening. And I want to, let's see, actually, I'm going to look for that because I know I have access to those times. So I'm going to look for that real quick. Because I do have those times if you guys haven't seen them. Okay, so Tuesday, orientation times, virtual orientation times for classrooms. Kindergartners at noon and 5:30. Noon and 5:30. First graders, 12:30 and 6 o'clock are your 2 options. And second graders, 1 o'clock and 6:30 are your 2 options. Again, kinder is noon and 5:30. First grade is 12:30 and 6. Second grade is 1 o'clock and 6:30 p.m. And those are, again, Tuesday virtual times. So that slideshow presentation that you get with all that information, again, we're going to try to make sure we get that out to you guys probably after we've had those orientations. So if you need to refer back to it, you sure can. Yeah, I think for the most part, those are the topics that I wanted to cover. Are there any questions or maybe anything that I haven't covered for kind of back to school? We talked about important days. We talked about our schedule. You'll get your individual schedule from your classroom teacher. We've got our virtual orientations coming up. Yes, go ahead. Got it. Is it? There you go.
Did I get it? Okay.
Yeah.
So this is my son's first year at Mark Twain. He's in first grade, but will there be someone to help him find the classroom because he's never been in the school before?
Yeah, absolutely. We'll have, especially in the morning when the kids come, we'll have folks stationed out in the hallways. If he looks a little bit lost, somebody will probably engage with him. But he can ask when he is walking to his classroom. The teachers, when their students are coming down the hallway, and we just have the one classroom hallway, when the students are coming down the hallway, the teacher's going to be right outside there. So hopefully he recognizes his teacher from the virtuals, but he can always ask. And if he looks a little bit lost, like those kids will stand out to us, we'll make sure we talk to him and ask him who he's looking for.
Okay, thank you.
You bet. One other thing that I forgot is that PE. So our PE teacher, well, two things now that I'm thinking of. Our PE teacher is going to have live virtual PE on Mondays. There's going to be a couple of times. We'll make sure you get that communication. So I would encourage your students to attend PE on Monday. Make a little note of that, they can go to PE on Monday. Those classes are also going to be recorded, and there'll be a place where parents could refer back to those. Sometimes if students go to a class and they're on virtually and it's recorded, they can see themselves. So sometimes they might get a kick out of going back and having PE with themselves if it's recorded. And then also they might have a favorite PE class that they like to do. There might be some activities there that they enjoy. So there will be two options on Mondays. And then Tuesday through Thursday, there will be a live PE option. So please know that it may conflict with something that's going on during the day, and that's okay. The goal is that if we have PE offered live Tuesday through Friday, then when your student has an off day, their non-hybrid day, they could attend PE as part of their day. He is also going, our PE teacher is also going to record those. And so again, if there's a conflict, he might be in a math group or it might be his level of reading group and it conflicts with that time, those lives are going to be recorded and your student will be able to go back into the archives and click on the PE class and go to PE class at a later time. So your student should be able to go to PE every day during the week, 5 days a week. And then the other one is morning meetings. So Tuesday through Thursday, when we have hybrid, every single day in the morning, there's going to be a morning meeting. Starts about 8:10, goes for about 20 minutes to about 8:30, and then the students roll into their next class. On Mondays, the teachers are going to maintain that morning meeting. So even though Monday is not a live day, the teachers are going to meet with your student live every Monday. They're going to bump that back just a little bit. So on Mondays, your morning meeting time with class is going to be 8:30. And again, teachers will communicate that out, but that just ensures that your student has, has a connection on that Monday. They probably talk a little bit about the schedule, try to get that day off and running a little bit. So those are a couple more things to look for. Got a couple more questions in here. One of them is about school supplies. School supplies. So to be perfectly honest, I think we have tried to purchase and have supplies in the classroom to be able to distribute to the students. It's not gonna be a year where we have, I see you, Kimberly, I'll come to you. It's not gonna be a year where we have, the normal school supplies that we've always had. Some teachers may say, if you wanna bring your supplies, you can. In the classroom, we're gonna try to keep those as individualized as possible. So a plastic container probably with all of their student supplies in them. Markers, crayons, glue, writing utensil, things like that. Our goal is to try to avoid sharing of supplies. There will be some sharing of, might be math manipulatives, might be some supplies. If a student goes to like a break space and maybe uses, some, I'm just throwing out, maybe there's a sensory tool or something over there and a student uses them. Anytime we have a community object that we're going to use, the student will pull that from a clean bin, and then when the student is done with that, they'll place it in a dirty bin, and then those will be disinfected at the end of the day and returned to basically a clean bin, similar to what you see if you go to the bank or you go someplace where they use pens and they've got a cup of clean pins and then they put them in a cup of dirty pins. So that's kind of how we're going to use school supplies. But yeah, ask if you have specific questions or you don't get your question answered, refer to your teacher on the expectations in the classrooms, but we understand we're going to try to minimize things as much as possible this year. Had a question raised, Kimberly?
I'm sorry, I was planning on going to the meeting this evening, so I kind of jumped in at the last minute. I apologize. Did you address the busing? If you did, I'll just wait and do tonight's meeting.
Yeah, no, go ahead. What's your question on busing?
I didn't see anything in the parent score yet, or maybe I'm just missing it on busing for sure.
Yeah.
Is there something? Am I missing it?
Are you talking about specifically about bus routes, like when your child's
Yes.
getting picked up? Yeah,
Yes,
so
correct.
bus routes are not completed yet.
Okay.
So our goal is to hopefully have that information for families at the virtual orientation meeting, which is going to be Tuesday.
Okay. I'll grab it then. And thank you very much.
You bet. And then also to clarify, I'm going to record this one and I'll make sure that this is posted, but I won't have another town hall, a Mark Twain town hall this evening. So this will be the town hall. So I'll get the recording posted though, and families can go visit that. And encourage, if you have a parent that has questions, feel free to just let them call the office, and we're happy to answer questions. Any other questions? Yes, go ahead.
I just wanted to, I think I missed part of it. You were talking about bringing iPads to school. Mm-hmm. So we need to bring iPads to school, and then they'll obviously need to bring them home on their off days. They're going to continue to do like seesaw and whatnot on their off days, on their Tuesday, Thursday, or their Wednesday, Friday that they're home.
Yeah, so the teachers are going to have a combination of, they will probably send students home with some packet work that coincides with maybe some of the, iPad assignments that they may give the students. So your student can expect to have a combination of seesaw activities or something on the iPad. It could be an app. It might be separate from seesaw, as well as some handouts that they're going to send home with the children. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm happy to stay on until the last person is on here. So if you have individual questions or want to catch me kind of after the meeting, please do so. Feel free to email me or message me through Parent Square, or just call the office. I mean, we're here to help you guys. We're here to serve. We are very excited to get the students back in the classroom. It's been long overdue, but we feel really good about our plan. We feel like we're going to get the students at least started back in a nice structure, a nice routine, which probably parents are very thankful and happy about that. So like I said, we're here to serve. So please reach out if you have any questions whatsoever. Thank you so much for joining today. You guys have a great day.